Wake up with us, it's time to rise and shine. Morning mayhem's on the air, we're feeling fine. We got a motto, Tomlin and Mama Manning too. Bringing you the latest, there's nothing we can't do. Morning mayhem, it's a wild ride. Sports news and the daily updates, we're on your side. Special guests and interviews galore. We're taking over Woodland Regional, we're knocking down the door.
Good morning, Woodland, and welcome back after almost, I'd say 5-6 days off. We haven't had a show for a bit there, and it looks like we may be stopped a couple times in the month of February as there's 4 more snow systems brewing that could keep us off the air as we move on. So it is looking like winter is here, and Puxatawny Phil had it right. That little rascally rodent. Are groundhogs rodents? Or they're not marsupials. I mean, they're mammals, but
Pretty
they're
sure
not
they're
the rodents. The rodents,
sure.
giant rodents. Okay, just know. And again, like with all this snow, we can see a lot of crazy things. My wife saw a bobcat in the yard
Oh,
that was out foraging
nice.
for rabbits. I'm assuming. I don't know. And then last night, the shed lights went on, and as we looked out there to see what was out there, it's usually we have a groundhog out there, and it was a coyote.
Oh,
There's a coyote in the backyard. I usually just tramp back out there to get the garbage and whatnot and go to the sheds in the middle of the night in the dark. I'm going to be a little more leery as I walk around our wildlife sanctuary in the middle of suburban Ansonia.
did
So
they
it's
see
kinda
their
crazy.
shadows?
And I don't know if they saw the shadows. Well, the good thing, when the lights popped on, the coyote just stopped moving.
Yeah.
But it was definitely on. It was on a mission. You could just tell.
Yeah.
So, welcome to February 10th. It is a Monday, right after a big game yesterday, which we will get to down the stretch. So, let's talk about what has happened on some of these famous February 10ths. So, we're talking about AI just making a rise. Remember this. I'm going to go back. This is not for everybody that listens to us, but anybody that's our age will know this. Remember IBM's Deep Blue that used to play chess? One of the AI computing programs, and it beat Gary Kasparov.
That's going way back.
Yeah.
That's going at 1996. Like
Oh.
we had AI that was already starting to do its own learning, and it had played other grandmasters, and it was learning how to play chess effectively.
And
I
beat him, I believe.
It did, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the first time Kasparov had been beaten, like especially by a machine, and they had played several times before, so it was a point of note. Also, let's go back a little bit. If I had to say famous swimmer, who would our famous swimmer be?
Greg Louganis.
Oh, it's a diver, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking
Phelps.
Phelps.
Oh,
Right
Ryan
now, Phelps. But back in our era, if you remember,
Mark
it was.
Spitz.
Thank you.
There you
That's
go.
his birthday today.
Oh.
So he held that record until Phelps broke it for the longest time, Mark Spitz, in 1972. And today's International Day. I didn't know this, but like World Pulses Day. And I'm like, is it for heartbeats or whatnot? No, it's for lentils, beans, and chickpeas as a sustainable food source. But it's
Okay.
World Pulses Day. I got to look up what pulses means because I just grabbed that one quickly. So I didn't do any research on it, which is all right. It's
How do you spell it? Because it sounds like pulsum, which was a Roman soup made up of lentils and beans.
could be. It's Pulses, just like you would say. Okay.
You don't have a
Like the
pulse on
verb.
this story?
I don't have a heartbeat. All right. Congratulations to the valedictorian and the salutatorian, Gabe Diamante and Blake Rankin.
Val and Sal.
Val and Sal.
We got to get them on the show again.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
The Valentine's carnation sale is going to be 10 through 12. You got up to the next 2-3 days to get your flowers registered. So for a Thursday delivery, because we're off on Valentine's Day. So you got plenty of things to get ready for. It's the feedback event coming up to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And if you're an advisor that brings in the most peanut butter and jelly, you'll win a donut party. They'll be collected from February 5th, which is a while ago, to Thursday, February 13th. So make sure that you bring in bread or a jar of peanut butter. Just don't bring in a handful of peanut butter or a bag of peanut butter. You don't want people scooping a bag of peanut butter. And jelly will be collected in order to make the PB&Js. Art Club is Monday and Tuesday. February 13th is the last time to pay for your caps and gowns for $25. Get that cash or check to Mr. Facette or Miss Maharam. And I don't know what happens if you don't have a gown for graduation. I'm not
I
sure
don't
where that
think you
goes.
march.
Wednesday, February 12th, National Honor Society has a meeting right after school, and it is all senior chapter members have to attend. And don't forget to charge Chromebook every day and listen to us every morning. Time now for the news with Tomlin.
And now, with the latest headlines, over to the news desk with Tomlin.
Good morning. Couple top stories to start your day. First up, my phone
Whoa.
loads over here.
We'll just make
Alright,
some banter while you're waiting.
So the first story, a bunch of stories actually today are dedicated to you, Mr. Amata.
All right.
So yesterday, President Trump ordered the Treasury Department to stop minting your favorite coin, the
The
penny.
penny. Oh, I know. I was like, oh.
Last year, the U.S. Mint reportedly lost $85.3 million on production of the penny.
Yeah, I think it costs 3 cents to mint 1 penny. Something like that.
And anywhere between 2 and 8 cents, depending. Numbers are, if you go online right now, numbers are all over the place how much it actually costs, which shows that the internet, once again, is doing its job of telling the absolute truth with no bias somewhere in there. The United States
I
now
think it
joins.
was 0.031 the year before, and then 0.037 this year.
I love it.
That's what the Treasury report said.
I'll-
Because I looked it up after they said they're not going to be minting them.
I'll put that on Wikipedia right now.
But why is it your favorite coin?
I just love the pennies. Like my dad used to collect them and put them in large jars, and we used to get the Wheaties. I don't remember the wheat pennies that had
Wheat
the
pennies.
Oh yes,
Yes.
that's going back.
I would always
Exactly.
collect those.
right.
Every now
So
and
we
then
had
the
a
show
separate
stuff.
jar for those, and then there were certain years that they came. It was just I don't know.
So the United
a little
States
bit of
now
childhood.
potentially join, because there is some questions over whether or not. So we're not eliminating the penny, because we cannot eliminate the penny because Congress established the penny as a form of U.S. currency. We are no longer going to be making pennies. So we're
Oh.
kind of joining some of these other countries. So for example, Canada,
Canada's done. Yeah.
they abandoned it, but
2012.
but Canada also had a fix for the price problem, because right now we are not going to produce pennies, but something still might cost you 23 cents. So what they did in Canada is it rounds up automatically to the nearest 5. So
We do know that 'cause-
they tied in both elements. We just eliminated the coin, or we limited production of the coin,
but not the decimal.
Correct. So and once again, we're just not going to make them anymore, but it still is legal U.S. tender. It's still
Well, one of
out
the
there,
problems they
prices
said
aren't
with the
there.
pennies, and I even remember this coming up in the 90s, that they, well, it could even be late 80s too. They were like, please put your pennies back in circulation. And they used to have penny donation places where you can go to the bank and take your pennies and cash them in to get the cash for what they were, because so many people, for some reason, collecting pennies was a thing.
Well,
Because you always had a pocket full of pennies. Like,
pennies are the most found coin on the ground because it's our smallest valued coin.
yeah.
You know, it used to be like there was a penny, you'd pick it up. People walk by pennies.
What's
Just a penny.
what's the little poem? See a penny, pick it up all day long, have good luck.
Sounds right.
I don't know. I'll look it up. You
Sounds
keep going
good.
with the news.
How about that episode on Seinfeld when Kramer paid with cash?
Oh
He paid with
yeah.
all these coins. He had pockets full of coins. All those pennies. Oh my goodness.
There's a couple stories of people paying fines and fees and stuff with
Yeah.
thousands of pennies.
DMV.
I love that.
All right. Next story is actually inspired by your story there. In Poland, 2 rare black wolves, likely siblings, have been spotted on a camera crossing a stream in the Polish forest. This comes as they've been trying to bring back these wolves. So it's very exciting that these rare wolves are being seen once again. So great success for conservation organizations across Poland and Eastern Europe. And then to your earlier question, so pulse comes from the Latin word pulse, a thick gruel porridge, which is pulsum,
Okay.
which is when you take various seeds of the legume family and cook them down for multiple hours and mix in escarole.
Okay.
So
I see it.
escarole bean soup is very close to ancient Roman porridge. Then a little fun facts for you today.
Legume. That's what
How
I
much
remembered.
did a Super Bowl I ticket cost on average?
An ad?
No, a ticket to get in and watch the game.
I know.
11,500.
Super Bowl one.
Oh, Super Bowl
11,500.
one. Oh,
One.
Oh.
$85.
52.
10.
$10.
Average Super Bowl cost of 59.
11,500.
According to this, is 4,000. Average.
Oh, really?
ticket
Okay.
price.
Wow, I'm way off.
So,
Yeah.
the box seats were far more.
Oh, I can't even
But Super
imagine.
Bowl one tickets were 6, 10, 12, and free. Because they actually had to give away tickets because so many people were not interested in showing up to Super Bowl one. And then last but not least, if any of you are looking for an interesting new map out there, Deep State Map is an interactive map that was created to track the war in Ukraine. It was actually created by 2 Ukrainians right before the war. Using public access to data, they continue to the company has grown from 2 volunteers to over 100 paid employees, and they continuously update this map using all information that's publicly available, showing the border lines, where it's moving, the positions of military units. They cross-reference photos on Instagram, on Twitter, on any photos coming out into the public sphere. It's actually been used by Ukrainians seeking to avoid the conflict, and the Ukrainian military has also supposedly been using it to identify Russian locations.
Wow, that's crazy.
So there you go.
And that's your news with Tomlin. Over to the sports desk with Mama Manning.
Here's a shot at the buzzer. Strike three.
I just wanna-
catch touchdown.
Time now for sports with Mama Manning.
It was in Greece. See a penny, pick it up, and all day long you'll have good luck. That's one place they say. I
You
found
played
that
my
reference.
bump.
I did play your bump. I'm sorry.
But he's still talking.
I'm still talking. Nothing
right.
stops me. You put a mic in front of me, I just don't shut up.
Good morning. Good morning. Take that mic away. Just kidding. Back on Friday, boys basketball demolished Derby
Wow. All right. What's the demolish?
84-16.
Oh,
Oof.
yeah, that is.
That
Yeah,
was painful.
that is a proper
Yeah.
choice of that word.
In fact, we were cheering for Derby to do something.
Wow.
That's
That
a,
hurts.
that. But next door, boys swim
Yes.
up against Holy Cross.
Yep.
We squashed them.
Oh,
We
really?
squashed the Crusaders 108-78.
That's a pretty good score in
Yes,
swim. So
that
we
was-
went, I'm assuming we must have won a lot of the events.
We won a lot of the events on senior night, no less.
That's way to
Perfect.
So
go.
good for them. The rivalry has been renewed. UConn, Tennessee.
Yes, it has. No one saw it
Thursday night.
coming. No one saw
Thursday
it happening.
night.
Yeah.
80-76. Tennessee won. They had not beaten UConn since 2007. UConn won
Wow.
the last 3 matches, but now the rivalry is back.
Yeah. It was a good game.
It was a well-coached game because what
Yeah.
do they keep doing? Subbing 5,
Subbing five. They
subbing
kept the
5.
floor fresh.
Yes, they did. And UConn was out of gas.
They just couldn't hit the rim in the last 3 minutes.
They could
couldn't get
not.
it. And they were always just playing a little bit behind. They were always just a
Yeah,
little bit
Yeah,
behind, and they
shots
could never
weren't
get
going
over
down.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we needed Ice Brady, but next week. Hopefully she'll be back soon. The men played St. John's.
Yes, they did.
That was tough to watch.
That was I'm not-
68-62.
Calipari.
UConn lost.
Yeah. He just made his
against Patino.
Patino. I said Calipari.
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
get the two mixed up. They're twins, right?
No.
Yeah, but he came back and resurrected that team.
Yeah,
Those guys, they knew how to play basketball. They were just taking it.
they did. They're number 1 in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not hard to believe at all.
Yeah. And of course, last night was the Super Bowl.
Oh, I
That was
forgot
last night.
about that.
Yes.
That's last night.
Yeah.
Oh.
40-22. The Eagles claim victory.
Yeah, but the record does not
Over the
indicate
Chiefs.
game. I mean, the 18 points scored in scrub time at the very end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was and again, it looked like one team came out and said, "We're going to take this from you." They came out and they just had a mission. They were laser focused, and
It started in the first quarter.
that Eagles defense,
Was
They were
it-
good.
Was it the second or third drive that one of the Chiefs' defensive players came off and just sort of curled up in a ball on the
Yeah.
sideline?
Oh,
That
that was for the
Chris-
tush push.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Chris-
He hurt his neck.
Chris
Okay.
Jones.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, Fangio just had them running all over the place. That secondary was like incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like every single one of their interceptions were like spot reads. Like they saw the ball redirected to it, diving out there. It was
All-out effort.
full on assault, and that
Yeah.
offensive line for the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a saying when you have a goalkeeper in hockey, sieve. Like things just keep going through them,
Well-
and that's what it will kind of look like. And they did it with 4, and every time they kept saying, "And
But the
Eagles have not
didn't
blitzed."
until the
didn't.
the third quarter,
Yeah, I
the
was like,
second half.
wow. I just to realize they got 6 sacks. So it was 6 total.
Yeah.
Or did they end up with? I have no idea. I lost count. But I've never seen an assault like that. That just, and that's what it was. It felt
Mahomes
like it.
hadn't either.
No, he really hadn't.
No.
It was and that kicker, I think the kicker, they could have left him at about 60, 65, and
Oh
he'd
my
still make. He
God.
was at 48 and kicking over the
I was gonna say
net.
that last one where he kicked it perfect and they moved it back.
Happened
kicked it
twice.
higher and farther.
Farther, yeah.
Yes.
It's like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
that was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
This team was on a mission. And I said, listen, the only way they're going to win is if Saquon Barkley can get to the outside
Yep.
and run 100. And
I think
because they
Hunter-
couldn't win
Hunter
on
picks like that.
they couldn't win on Jalen's arm. I was wrong. He was laser
The second half when they
pinpoint.
the second half they opened up with that touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
It was like, oh,
Yeah.
you are still angry. You
Yeah.
are still hungry. There
Yeah.
will be no comeback.
Yeah.
And again,
Cooper DeJean, my favorite.
I had
play.
no dog
Pick
in the
six.
fight. I either got to see history being made with the Chiefs, although they look like they just thought. And again, I don't play football. I can't do what those guys do, but it just looked like they almost expected to win because they've been there. I don't know. It just seemed like they were off a beat.
They didn't have the hunger.
They didn't feel like
the
an
Eagles had.
Andy Reid coached team. I don't know. That's just how I feel because they usually are sharper. They have a lot more plays. If you're running your defense or you're at us really hard, we're gonna do some kind of crazy play, throw your timing off.
Nothing.
Nothing.
But
And Pagano was frustrated. The defense couldn't stop him.
if
Yeah.
you look at their entire season this
Yeah, they were-
season, that's basically
Flat.
the way they've been playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, granted, yes, they only lost one game with their starters, but there was a lot more they should have lost. Like things
I think yeah.
break for them at the last second.
Well, it's 15
weren't-
one-score games.
Yeah, they weren't that dominant juggernaut. So I mean, this is kind of where they were going. And yesterday and even last week, people were saying like, I think the Eagles win, but you can't discount Mahomes, so I'm going with the Chiefs.
Right.
The fact that people were prepping their statements by saying, I think the Eagles are going to win, but Mahomes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
'cause they
that
were
was
down by 10 in their playoff games.
Yeah.
that was just on both sides of the ball. Like everything was
my God.
played like chef's kiss.
You
I
know,
was
I
like,
think
they
was really happy?
had it prepared.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the Eagles are getting credit for breaking 2 dynasties. So one of the reporting I was listening to this morning on
Oh,
the
yes.
drive in, they were talking about how their last win came between 2 Patriots wins. Because
Oh, that's
Patriots
right.
won, they then defeated the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Then the Patriots won again, so they're getting credit for stopping that three-peat. And then last
oh, I didn't even
night's
think about
three-peat.
that one. Yeah.
So
Oh, Brady was talking about it.
And the other
Yes.
one was was it Wentz? Was the quarterback?
yeah, Wentz.
Or
No,
Nick Foles.
Foles was
Nick
subbing
Foles.
Okay.
because the other
Yeah.
one was out.
And that was
Yeah.
just another one of those
And
historic
they
games.
traded him.
And then
Like
And then
Hostetler.
they traded him.
him.
I'm
No.
thinking the Eagles team's going to stay together. I'm not so sure what's going to happen with the Chiefs team in the offseason now. They all stayed.
Well, Kelsey's
Let's get
gone.
to 3.
Moore's gone.
Kelsey's
That's what I'm
gone.
saying. I just don't know what's going to happen to that team as a whole is just going to get. Could this be I don't want to say the end of the Chiefs. You still have Andy Reid, but we'll see what happens.
For how long?
I don't know. We'll see. But you guys have yourself a good Monday. And don't forget, on behalf of the show, she's Mama Manning. He's Tomlin. Good morning, Woodland.
Morning mayhem, it's a wild ride. Sports news and the daily updates, we're on your side. Special guests and interviews galore. We're taking over Woodland Regional, we're knocking down the door.
Every morning at 7 a.m.
Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram too. We're streaming on
knocking down the door.